Hi, everybody. This is Saad for the Saad Truth. Plato had a very clear position when it came to democracy. He thought that democracy should be ruled by philosopher kings, the idea being that it is dangerous to allow imbeciles to have the same voting power as those who are informed. Now, we can certainly argue whether that is a elitist perspective and so on, but the more I live, the more I realize that there certainly are positions that the ancient Greeks took that certainly ring true today. And so I just came across a clip on my X feed with Kyra Sedgwick, who is an actress, a Jewish actress, and you'll see in a second why I'm referencing her religion, who's married to Kevin Bacon. She certainly seems like I mean, I don't know her obviously, but she seems like a nice woman. She has an aura of, a positive aura. But she was basically stating all of the things that she is so unbelievably fearful about because Trump, is now running the dictatorship in the United States since he is indistinguishable from Hitler. And so she said she's afraid that she no longer will have autonomy over her body. She can no longer vote as a woman. He's going to take those rights away. That there'll no longer be food banks because Trump has instituted, all of the federal government cuts, and so people will starve. So I'd like just for a second for you to pause and think. We're roughly the same age. She's navigating the world, looking at certain statistical regularities in the world. She's hopefully using or not using some sort of causal inferencing mechanism to say, given A, I expect B to happen. What would be the mechanism that would justify her, being afraid of a million things that she listed in that clip, but being afraid that women's rights when it comes to voting will be taken away? Is there any conceivable way by which in the United States today Donald Trump will say, I'm done with the past 100 years or however long it's been since women have gotten the right to vote in the United States. I'm removing that unequivocally. Women will now go back to being in the kitchen. Food will no longer be available because I've made all cuts to the government. And when she's saying that she no longer has autonomy over her body, I'm presuming she's referencing the fact that Roe versus uh, Wade was sent back to the States. Now, I'm not sure how that would affect her because I would imagine that she is postmenopausal. So, in a very direct and literal sense, it can't affect her. Not that Roe versus Wade removes the bodily autonomy of women, but this is the stuff that I so often talk about when I discuss parasitized minds as being the most dangerous force in nature. This is a functioning human being who supposedly does not suffer from a mental illness, although one can argue that baffling imbecility could be a form of cognitive impairment, who genuinely believes, and so much believes that she is emboldened to think that here are the 73,000 ways by which I'm so afraid, including my inability to no longer vote in the United States because I'm a woman. Now, why did I mention that she's Jewish? Do you think that there might be an intrusion of a religion in the United States, if not in the West, that might have a much more direct and real causal connection to her as a woman being more threatened, to her as a Jewish woman being more threatened? No. Kyra Sedgwick decided that the most fundamental existential threat to her and all women in the United States is Donald Trump. Plato was so right. Cheers, everybody.